Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. And here we teach busy minds how to live their most authentic life, how to gain confidence, and how to step into their power. Girl, if you've got a busy mind, then stay tuned because each week we're going to dive into topics like mindfulness, resilience, goal setting, self-empowerment, sharing tips and stories to help you navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. If you're ready to unlock your full potential and create a life you love, grab a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's embark on this journey of growth and transformation together. Welcome to Mindset with Mary. Hello, welcome to Mindset with Mary. Thank you so much for tuning in. So if you are new here, you might not have recognized that there has been a bit of a title change. But if you've been here and you've been here for a while, you might recognize that I'm shifting the name and rebranding a bit from Magic with Mary to Mindset with Mary. And I'm not going to dig into this too much because there's just so much behind it and I can unpack it and talk about it for days and days. But general idea of why we're shifting is because it just feels more authentic. Mindset with Mary feels so much more true to who I am and to the purpose of what I want to help people with in my life. So we can dig into that more later. Probably not, because it's going to take me years to unpack it and explain. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for being here with me. If you're new, thank you for tuning in. And if you've been here, I love you. Keep coming back. You guys are amazing. Thank you so, so much. And I just love that you guys are here supporting the podcast and just being here to help yourself with improvements in personal development, professional development, whatever it is that you're here for. Just give yourself a pat on the back because that's amazing, fantastic. Most people are not willing to do that for themselves. They listen to podcasts like crime and murder scene and stuff like that. But you are here, and even if you do listen to that stuff, you're still taking time for some personal development. So kudos to you. So I just want to say, with this rebrand, what I'm really wanting to focus on more and what I believe the core values are that will help us live more successful, purpose-driven lives and be happier are 1, empowerment, 2, authenticity, 3, resilience, 4, continual growth, and 5, community. So my mission with this rebrand is to empower as many women as possible, especially those who are like me, who have busy minds and are go all the time. I really want to help you take things down a notch and work through your mindset and use some NLP techniques to help you overcome your obstacles and set and achieve goals and actually accomplish them, and really just foster resilience and continue to grow every day and love who you are because you are who you were meant to be. So that's kind of a little snippet of the rebrand and what we're looking to shift. But let's dig into the topic. So today we're diving into a topic that I believe affects so many people in our day-to-day lives and affects whether or not we are able to actually accomplish our goals. And that is stress management. So whether you're struggling to, juggle a hectic life, or you have family commitments or personal projects, managing stress, and just all of the things in life, it's super crucial for living a healthy and happy life. And we know that for our physical and our mental health, managing stress is essential. So today we're going to explore some stress management techniques, not just so that we can feel better in the moment, but also to manage our energy effectively so that we can focus on accomplishing our goals and just live the happy life that we're supposed to. So let's get started. Real quick, I need a drink of water. Okay. First thing I really want to talk about is really just understanding stress. So unpacking what that means. And firstly, I just want to say that there are different kinds of stress that we need to look at and distinguish between each other before we really can decide, what kind of stress we have going on in our life. So stress is your body's way of responding to any kind of demand or threat. Whether you feel threatened, your nervous system responds by releasing stress hormones, including adrenaline, cortisol, all the likes, and we know this as fight or flight response. So there are two types, acute and chronic. Acute stressors are short-term and can actually be beneficial and help us with coping in our immediate and day-to-day challenges. However, chronic stress, and this is what I really want to help you with if you are dealing with chronic stress, it is long-term and can have serious impacts on your health, mental and physical, if not managed properly. It can affect so many things like headaches, high blood pressure, and even weakening your immune system. We know that if we're stressed out, and there are, especially during the winter time when there's it seems to be that like so many germs are like floating around. If we are stressed, like just being around that and our immune system being weakened, like that energy is going elsewhere and we're more than likely going to get sick from it. And it impacts so much. With our mental health, it causes anxiety, depression, and so many other issues. And that's why we just have to, without a doubt, manage it effectively. Now, I'm not here to say that I'm perfect at managing stress. In fact, the reason that brought this topic up is that there are some things and techniques that I'm going to talk about here in this podcast that I recently have noticed I haven't been doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to start doing these things again or else I am not going to function. Life lately has been a bit stressful. And so I needed to sit down and reevaluate and think about the things that I needed to change so that I could feel better and actually accomplish my goals and not just continuously go month after month and say, oh, I haven't gotten that done. Why? Well, the reason why is because I haven't been managing my stress. So I'm going to unpack some of the things that I've done in the past and things that I'm starting to implement again that I know for a fact have helped me. And there's a little bit of science to back it up. We know so much research these days just has grown and grown and grown in the terms of things that help us manage our stress. So going into section number 2, which is our techniques to manage stress that we want to incorporate into our lives every single day. Okay, maybe not every single day. So all of these, just so you guys know, I want you not to feel like you have to do them all every day, nor do you have to do any of them every day. It's just something that you can incorporate that's going to help you feel better. So don't feel stressed thinking like, oh, I got to do all these things. That's not what I want to preach at all. I want you to take it slow, implement 1 or 2 things that you think are going to help, and then see what works, see what doesn't, tinker with it, and start to feel better. Okay, so the first one is just to be outdoors. One of the simplest and most effective ways that we can reduce our stress is just to be outside. Studies have shown that spending time in nature can lower our stress levels, improve our mood, and even boost our immune system. The sights, sounds, smells of nature, they just have this calming effect on our bodies and minds. So if you haven't been outside lately, this is something that I really highly encourage you to try doing. How can you incorporate that into your busy schedule? So maybe you can try taking a lunch break at a nearby park, maybe going for a walk, or, taking an evening stroll with your husband, wife, whatever. Take that time with your family. If you have more time on the weekends, consider going hiking or for a bike ride. Or if you're like me, I love to get in my side-by-side and just be outside, letting the wind blow through my hair. It just feels so amazing. And we just listen to music and my life completely shifts and changes. And I love it with all of my heart. And every stress in the world just disappears and I'm able to just be. And so this is why this is number one, and the reason why I'm bringing it up the most is because being outdoors is my everything. It is what creates peace and happiness in my life. Being outdoors speaking on a more spiritual level, it's just so much more connected to that vibe that we're looking to have in our daily lives. When we're inside and we're constantly working or running around, cleaning, or just on the computer all days with our eyes staring straight into the screen, we are in this like 3D version of life that's just not 100% real. It's not what life is about. And really what life is about, when you get outside and you take a step outside, looking around and just enjoying it, whether it's winter, cold, windy, or outside hot as hell, especially right now in Cedar City where I'm at, it is hot. But just really like looking at the big picture in life, and I promise you being outside for a little bit of time can help you do that. So start incorporating some outdoor time in your day-to-day life, whether that be going on a walk around the block. I love to just get up and walk around the building that I work in, and that gets me out. Or go grab a friend and get outside, which leads me into the next topic, which is the importance of taking breaks. So I want you to start forcing yourself to take breaks. I know so many of us don't take breaks because it feels counterintuitive. But I promise you, regular breaks can actually make you more productive. And when you're working on a task for an extended period of time and you no matter what, your focus and performance is going to start to decline. So take those short breaks to help refresh your mind and your body, and allowing you to return to work with a renewed vision and energy and focus. So one way you can make sure you do this is to try, and I hope I don't botch this word, I don't know how to say it, the Pomodoro the Pomodoro I don't know how to say it. Anyways, it's a Pomodoro technique so what you do is you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. So you can do this by using a timer. I don't personally do this. I hear about it a lot from people. I like to just keep an eye on my Fitbit and remember like each hour I need to get up and move around. So I'm actually going to start implementing this every 5 minutes and seeing if that actually improves my productivity a little bit. So there's studies that show it works. So I'm going to dig into it and start doing it. If you want to try it with me. Sounds fun and fantastic. But one thing that it's so easy just to keep track of time through like an hour. So if it's 9 o'clock in the morning right now, and you're working, make sure that if you see 10 o'clock, get your butt up and go take a break, get your mind out of the office, talk to a friend. I have someone that I work with in my office who is just a sweetheart and adorable and fun, and I will go and visit with her for a minute. And so I encourage you to start doing that, because I promise you'll come back and you're going to be 10 times more productive. So the next thing I really want to talk about is implementing acute stressors into your life. So what does this mean? Well, we talked about chronic stress. And now I want to talk about acute stress, because the difference between the two is that the acute stress actually is beneficial. And here's the reason why. It builds resilience. So acute stressors are short-term, intense stressors that challenge your bodies and minds, making you stronger in the process. One of the ways to do this is through cold exposure. I like to take cold showers in the morning, especially if I'm stressed, or I get home from work. If I cannot get my mind off of work, I just hop in a cold shower, and it sucks so bad. I hate it. But I promise you, after you're done doing it, you're going to recognize the benefits, and then you're going to want to do it again, because we're human beings, and when we notice something makes us feel better, we do it again and again and again. So pay attention and recognize how it makes you feel. You can also do it through cold plunges. A lot of people will fill up a cold bath, put some ice in it. This spring, well, I guess would you call May spring? It's been such a hot spring. Anyways, a couple weeks ago, we were out camping with some family members, and we came upon a pond. That sounds so funny. We came upon a pond, and it was fresh spring cold water runoff from the snow up above. Anyways, I couldn't help it but just like jump in. I wanted to. So I stripped down. Luckily I had a sports bra on, and I had an extra pair of shorts with me, and I got in the water. I just walked in, jumped, and kind of put my head under as much as I could, and it was freezing cold. I hated every second of it when I was there. But the second I got out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It felt so good. Like, it was just like this cold burst of exposure. And anyways, cold exposure has been shown to improve circulation, boost immune system, and increase levels of stress fighting hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. So try incorporating it. Maybe do a cold plunge, take a cold shower for a minute, and see how it feels. And just check it out, okay? And I promise you, you're gonna love it. So another way to introduce some acute stress into your life is through high intensity exercises like sprinting. One of the things that I recognize that I haven't been doing lately is some high intensity workouts. I used to sprint once a week. Kind of silly. I worked for a company that was like way out of town. And it was like gated, fenced off, high security, all the fun stuff. I promise I wasn't in a prison, although it felt that way every single freaking day. Anyways, I would go outside, and I would go outside the gate, and just like beyond anyone could see me, I would just set a quick little alarm, or I guess a timer, and I would sprint for a minute, and then I would slow down for a minute, kind of jog, catch my breath, sprint for another minute, and just kind of do that for about 5 minutes. And it felt so good. As soon as I was done, I'd get back into work and just feel amazing. So I used to do that. It was fantastic. And research shows that it improves your cardiovascular health, build muscle, increase endurance, and all of the likes. So, and plus, intense physical exertion releases endorphins, which we know can improve mood and, of course, reduce stress. Because if your mood is improved, of course, it's going to reduce stress. So, anyways, by challenging ourselves with these acute stressors, we become more resilient to face everyday challenges, and we're better equipped to handle the stress as it arises. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Moving forward, another one that I love so dearly, which you have all heard me talk about a million times if you've been around and have listened to this podcast, is deep breathing. Now, sometimes when you're in a bad mood, it's hard to do anything, right? You're like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm just stressed. Your mind doesn't function that way. So I'm going to show you a helpful tip that's going to help you get into that deep breathing session without having to really think about it. What I want you to do is hold out 5 fingers. And if you're my dad, you have to hold out 2 hands. For me, thank goodness, right now I have only to hold out 1 hand. Anyways, hold out those 5 fingers, and with each finger, you're going to take a long, deep breath. So you're going to breathe in for 4 and out for 8. So, challenging you, do it with me right now. Starting with the first one. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. And out. And as you're doing this, you're putting your finger down every time you get to the end of 8. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. Out. Last one. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you to take a second and recognize how good you feel after taking those few deep breaths. Holy moly, changes everything. It changes your physiology, everything. It's so powerful. Our breath, we have no idea how powerful that is. It is the force of our life. If you're into yoga or anything, you probably know what I mean when I say that. It's everything. Without it, we cannot survive. And when we're stressed, we are taking these rapid, shallow breaths and we don't even recognize it. So when you stop and take deep breaths, what that does for you is it helps slow your mind down and allows you to think more clearly. And I promise you, when you're thinking more clearly, you're going to get things done a lot quicker. So take those deep breaths. I promise you, it's going to feel so much better. So another deep breathing exercise that you can do is called the 4-7-8 technique. I've heard it 5-7-8. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but what you do is you kind of just exhale everything out. And then you start with 4. So you'll breathe in for 4, hold for 7 seconds, and then let out your breath for 8, and then you repeat. So I love that one. There's also box breathing. That's a good one. You can do that with however many counts you want. So you would start again, exhale everything out, breathe in. We'll just say 4 counts. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, let out for 4, and then hold it at the bottom for 4, and then repeat that. So those are a couple just quick techniques that can really help you. I personally, like, if you are going through so much stress, I suggest circling up with someone who is a certified breath coach and doing some deep breathing sessions. I've done some of those, and holy cow, that changes my life. It makes me feel so much better. Anyways, this really can just help you feel more relaxed and centered. So try some deep breathing. Another thing that I truly believe is super powerful, super impactful, is starting your day with a structured morning routine that can set a positive tone for the rest of your day. When we begin our day with an intention and calmness, we are more likely to feel just less stressed altogether. I promise you this, if you keep pushing snooze over and over and over again, and you wake up at the last minute and get out of bed and rush yourself to work, there's no way that you're going to ever get that moment of relaxation and calmness and peace just to think before you start your day. You're not going to even get a chance to be intentional. And that's what life is so all about. That's how we get the things we want in life, is to be intentional. If we know what we want and we're intentional about it, and we are aware of everything going around us, then we have the ability to see what we need to do. So wake up, even if you give yourself 5 minutes, and create some sort of routine with that, just to relax and be with yourself. There's so many episodes on this podcast where I talk about morning routines and how to structure it and the things that help me in my life. So go back, listen to some other episodes, and try to come up with a fun morning magic routine that makes you feel good. You can, seriously, I love to make, everything I do in the morning, I love to be intentional about it. When I wake up, one of the things that is the first step in my routine is to stretch. And the reason why I stretch, I don't think of it in terms of physical, like I need to physically stretch because my body needs that. I think of it as this release of tension and negative energy. I try to make it fun and see it as this more of a spiritual practice, right? I'm releasing negative energy that my body and mind needs to get rid of, and doing some yoga or some stretches, that is my releasing, letting go And that's the first thing I do before I even dig into anything else. So I think that's powerful. Make your morning routine fun. And I promise you that when you begin your day with that intention and calmness, you're going to be able to let stressors go throughout the day and be able to just handle life more. What's the word I'm looking for? I promise you it's going to help you build more resilience. So, okay. That's really all I have, other than I have just a couple more practical tips to help you, manage your busy life and the stress that comes into just everyday thing. And these are just really, they're very practical, they're simple, and that's just really to manage your time. So prioritizing your tasks and focusing on what's important to you, using tools like to-do lists, planners, all of that stuff is going to help you feel more organized, and in turn will help you just manage stress so much better. I can't tell you how many times I've started my day without a to-do list and thought, what did I even do? Start your day with a to-do list. Even if it takes you 30 minutes to write it out and then prioritize it, I promise you're going to probably get it done 10 times quicker, even if it takes you that way. It's kind of that counterintuitive thing. Like, we think it's going to take us longer to make a to-do list and we just need to jump into our work. But what if something on your to-do list was more important than the thing that you're working on? And then tomorrow you're stressed out rushing to get that thing done. So just start your day with a to-do list. So much better. And that's something that I've been on and off doing my entire life. And every time I'm not doing it, I recognize the difference in my life. So, there's so many strategies and techniques for to-do lists too. If you need help with anything like that, just Google it, YouTube a video, how to prioritize my tasks. So many tips and tricks out there. Maybe I'll even record a podcast one day on time management. The next thing I want to talk about is setting boundaries. Super important. And this is so practical, but really it's so much easier said than done. We need to learn to say no and set limits to prevent burnout. We need to. It's so important to protect our time and energy. If we keep saying yes to everybody, then we're never going to have time for us. And I've recognized this so many times in my life where I'm like, oh crap, I didn't set boundaries there. Oh crap, I didn't set boundaries there. There are people who will, without a doubt, utilize your energy resources and just overstep all the boundaries. You have to be able to stand up for yourself. And so sometimes it's frustrating because you recognize it. People keep walking on you or whatever it is, or you keep saying yes to things. In those moments when you're feeling frustrated, that is your mind reminding you that you need to do something about it. So if you need help setting boundaries, girl, I've got your back. Come talk to me. I have struggled with that most of my life. In fact, I grew up with, I love her with all of my heart, a mother who is just, she loves to break boundaries. I love her with all my heart. So I grew up this way, and it was really ingrained in my mindset and my brain. And so I had to learn that boundaries don't actually make me a bad person. That was a belief I used to have. So if you need help shifting that belief that boundaries are bad or that boundaries make you a mean person, let's talk, let's chat. I actually am going to be opening up a coaching program soon. So come talk with me. I will leave some information in the show notes so you can go look at that. Anyways, the next thing is self-care. Just make sure you take time and prioritize your self-care. Whether you're just taking a bath, reading a book, enjoying a hobby, or just making time for yourself. You have to do that. I like to sit down and draw every once in a while. It just makes me feel so much happier in life. Drawing is fun. I suck at it, but I do it. Play the piano. I suck at it, but I do it. Just these little things. And another thing that I love to do, and kind of back to that first thing, is really just be outdoors with my family. I'm just an outdoorsy kind of person. So that is my hobby. That's what I do. And I have to prioritize it. And sometimes it's a challenge in a busy life, especially with so many things going on in every day. Just go, go, go. we have to prioritize it. So if we haven't been outside for a while, sometimes my husband and I, we will make sure we're like, okay, well, tonight we're going to go for a drive. And even if it's in the wintertime, we'll roll down our windows and turn on the heater and just let that fresh air come into the vehicle, because it's just so refreshing. So anyways, make time for yourself. Do your self-care stuff. So just to quickly recap some things that we've talked about, several techniques to help manage stress in your busy life. Being outdoors, taking breaks, forcing yourself to take a break, because I know so many of us won't do it. Just do it. Implementing acute stressors, deep breathing exercises, and really just having that structured morning to give yourself time to be more intentional and set the tone for the day. So remembering to incorporate, important note here, remembering to incorporate those acute stressors into our lives can help us build that resilience and really just make us better equipped to handle stress when it arises. So I know that those things, especially like the cold plunge and sprinting or whatever it is, they may not sound too fun, but go Google some ways that you can, get some acute stressors into your life if those sound horrible. But I promise you, it's totally worth it to add that into your life. Cold exposure. I love it. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Mindset with Mary. I hope you found these tips helpful and that you feel inspired to incorporate them into your daily routine. If you feel like you'd enjoy more resources for living a more purpose-driven life and you'd like to check out the show notes with some links, I have a mindset and manifestation journal. And I also, as I mentioned before, I have an upcoming coaching program that I will be introducing shortly. So if that's something that interests you, go to the show notes. And as always, please take the time to rate and review the podcast, as this helps viewers find the podcast and empower more women to live authentically. If you have any questions or want to share experiences, please reach out to me on social media. It is now at Mindset with Mary, or you can email me. I'll leave that in the show notes. And don't forget to tune in next time for more tips on improving your mindset and happiness. Take care and remember to make yourself a priority. Love you. Goodbye. Mwah.